Hi, everyone. I'm Nathaniel Villarreal. I am the host of The Grind. Over the past 10 days, we have seen all sorts of catastrophic chaos go on in the United States. We had the attempted assassination of a former president, Donald J. Trump. We had the withdrawal of the current president, Joe Biden, from the 2024 presidential election. We currently have Vice President Kamala Harris possibly being the frontrunner for the Democratic nomination. We have a war going on overseas, not only in Gaza and in Israel, but in Ukraine and Russia. We also have the Olympics. And usually, sports can unite a country or countries. However, that may seem impossible given the state of circumstances right now. The Grind talks about lifestyle, politics, trending topics, sports, family, life, people's professions, whether they're a first responder or whether they're a bureaucrat, a non sequitur. We are interested in finding out what it takes for you to grind through all of these things. How do you cope? How do you push through? Do you indulge? Some of us indulge in an alcoholic beverage, some through recreational drug use, some through extreme sports, some through exercise, reading and meditation. However it is your daily grind. Let's take a look at some of the things that have taken place over the past 10 days. They wanted him dead. They missed. They had an opportunity, according to some extremists, to take him out. And extremists, I mean by anybody who is celebrating the possible assassination of the former president. No matter what your politics are, what your views are, I don't find it necessary to wish death upon anyone. We have seen the memes come out, and it seems to be that the United States is one big meme. How fast can we tell a joke? The meme trending right now is the sheep follow the sheep with the bandage on the ear. However, maybe it's a sign of unity. Maybe for a second, these individuals thought that maybe the only way I can show my support through solidarity is through by somehow wearing a piece of bandage that shows that I support him. They had a convention last week, which was amazing. This convention was like we've never seen before. You had the Hulkinator, Hulkamania. You know, he got in a lot of, social media trouble for ripping his shirt off. People are embarrassed to have this individual, at the Republican convention, but they're okay with having, different types of alternative performers at the Grammys that are doing things that aren't as tasteful as the Hulk ripping his shirt to another shirt in support of Donald Trump. You also had self-proclaimed American badass Kid Rock. And let's face it, it was kind of interesting to see him perform his single, American Badass, and see a bunch of, let's just face facts, a bunch of cronies out there, a bunch of old conservatives, a few Republicans, maybe some young bloods in there, really getting into this idea that this is really powerful. Obviously, there are some individuals that follow Kid Rock and really appreciate his music, and there are some that just don't like his political views. Nevertheless, the Republican convention was amazing, absolutely amazing. Sunday at 1:46 Central Standard Time, the current president dropped out of the race, completely dropped out. He didn't do it on a camera. He didn't have a press conference. No, he did it on social media, which is kind of a get out of jail free card. No pun intended. Although I don't think the Republicans are going to drop their case against him. He also endorsed his current vice president, Kamala Harris, saying that he has given his full support to her and attempts to give his delegates. I don't think it works that way, Joe. I don't think it works that way at all. You see, former President Obama did not endorse Kamala Harris and is asking for an open convention, which means that the Democratic Party could possibly be in chaos. Could. possibly be in chaos. The process, as far as electing a new leader, has been manipulated and distorted. Let's face facts. They elected a candidate. Joe Biden won the primaries. Well, he didn't do so good against Donald Trump in a debate. He seemed to be under the weather or just not in attendance at all. Physically, he was there, but mentally, he was incapable of continuing any type of conversation or having a rebuttal that made sense. Their base saw that. Up until yesterday around 1:46 p.m., Joe was, let's just say, gung-ho about staying in the race. However, the donors that control the money bag of over $90 million said that if he didn't get out, they would stop donating. So because they thought that he couldn't win, they wanted him to be replaced. That is one of the biggest shams of democracy I've ever witnessed in my life. Because your guy can't win, or you think that he can't win, it's time for him to go home so the money doesn't drive up, so we can put somebody in there who possibly will win. Is it really about the American people, or is it about winning? A lot of the rhetoric from the opposite side is saying that we don't fall in love, we get in line. Meaning that they would rather have control of the House and the Senate than to produce a candidate that's actually for the people and by the people. That should be concerning not only to Democrats, progressives, but to all involved in this process. The process has already been scarred. Maybe they'll get it together before the convention in mid-August. Maybe they won't. Could you possibly think for a second that Michelle Obama could be the nominee? It seems like they want to continue to make history. But at the same time, those that are suffering are the ones that are getting up and grinding away, sometimes 24 hours a day. Only time will tell. We have the war in the Middle East, and it is a war. It's no longer a conflict. You have tragedy, tragic loss of life. It's unfortunate that we've come to this. It's unfortunate that we had almost 3 years of peace. Obviously, peace through force. That was one of the policies by the previous administration. But at the same time, we didn't have the escalation that we have in the Middle East right now. It's unstable. War is not beautiful. It's not to be glorified. There's always going to be someone who loses. But right now, who's winning? You have so many countless children that are dying, so many families that are displaced. Egypt won't take in their own. And every time aid is sent to the Palestinians, it seems to go missing. A ceasefire is, I guess, trying to be negotiated. However, both sides are unwilling to commit to peace. Why is that? And whose side are we really on? Are we on the side of the Palestinians as Americans, or are we on the side of the Israelis as Americans? America is supposed to be Israel's greatest ally. However, we also have a very strong Palestinian demographic in the United States. Obviously, with the demonstration of what people think of the war going on in Gaza, it is safe to say that America may be playing both sides. Politics as usual. And if that's not enough, you have the endless war in Ukraine. War all the time. That was actually an album by a band called Thursday, a long time ago. But it seems to be that our tax dollars, our armament, is going to fund a proxy war. If you heard Biden speak at the G8 summit, he proclaimed and professed that we are going to send even more of a technological capable arsenal to the front lines to defeat Vladimir Putin. And that Putin won't stop if he wins Ukraine. He's going to somehow invade Europe. Well, that remains to be seen. What is consistent is that war is profitable. The industry of war seems to be going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And American tax dollars are going towards fighting these wars. When do we get a break from it? We had a break for almost 3 years, and now it seems inevitable that we're going to continue and continue down this path until we settle on a peace agreement. Maybe that's why they wanted to shoot him. Maybe that's why they wanted him out of the picture. You see, war is money. Money are contracts. Contracts means bonuses, means opportunity for those that make the machine of war to continue to profit from the American taxpayer who has already sacrificed thousands upon thousands upon thousands and millions and trillions of dollars in debt to fund these things. It is my hope that we can all pray for peace and find a way to move forward. You also have inflation. Have you been to the grocery store lately? It's expensive. The dollar menu is almost non-existent. And it seems that going out becomes more and more of a service fee. Like we are going out to eat simply for the service. And it's no longer about the food and the experience. The service fee is kind of nuts. If you've seen that, the service fee is that not only do they get paid, they get to charge you a service fee. What I mean by that is some institutions have outstanding, phenomenal service. When I was in Houston, or when I am in Houston, I make it a point to go to Eddie V's. The service staff is absolutely phenomenal, and I always tip generously. But the trend is now and more is that the handout for being tipped for having bad service or just being there seems to be a little excessive, and Americans are growing weary of it. With the value of the dollar being less and less and less, will we ever stabilize? Will prices ever go back down? Probably not. Some say that's the way it's supposed to be. Some say that inflation is a good thing. I don't know about you, but asking a mom or a dad to find a way to feed a family of 5 consistently with the current inflation is becoming harder and harder and harder. Maybe that's what the process should be about. Maybe not about who you like as far as making history with the first African-American female to be a nominee. Maybe not with a nominee who was a former president who has now earned the Republican nomination for a 3rd consecutive time, who was almost assassinated. Or not even about someone who's an outsider looking in, like John F. Kennedy Jr., who has obviously lost his uncle and his father to political violence. Maybe it's time to start thinking about the people, thinking about how hard everyone gets up and grinds, whether they are a sanitation worker, whether they're in law enforcement, whether they provide a good product or a service, whether they're a small business or work for the system, the government. Maybe it's time to start thinking about the American people and put the politics aside and unite. I think Kamala Harris did say something that was a little profound, and I was shocked that she said it. It's time to start using the word unity more than just the word. However, the last time a former president used the word peace, he was almost assassinated. And then you have the Olympics. America's best athletes being sent over to France to compete for bronze, silver, and hopefully bring home the gold. Usually sports are a way for us to come together, a way for us to unite our differences through sport and entertainment. It seems like the athletes this year have their work cut out for them. There seems to be always some sort of controversy. I can only hope that LeBron James, who was selected to be the American Guidon flag bearer, does not kneel if the Americans get past or get into the medal round. They almost got beat by South Sudan, and they won miraculously by 1 point. It's a crazy time right now in the United States. We are going through the process of electing the next president of the free world. We understand that not everyone agrees with either left or right or even in the middle. That sometimes the only way for us to make a decision is for us to do nothing at all. Whether your grind is producing a product, good, or service, or finding some other way to make money and ends meet for your family. It's important to know that we're all Americans, and that we all have this idea of greatness within us. And for us not to get caught up in the rigmarole, so to speak, of the grind. It's important to Love your family. Try to love your friends and get along with everybody. Cherish the moment. One of the most valuable things on earth is time. It seems like our politicians have spent way too much time bickering and not enough time on focusing on the people that allow them the opportunity to exchange ideas. Tune into The Grind. We will be premiering on Friday of this week. We're really excited about it. We won't always talk politics, but to start off, we want to let everybody know that what we do here at The Grind, at Anthem TV, has a direct and positive influence, hopefully, not only in our community, but above and beyond. I'm Nathaniel Villarreal, your host of The Grind, and I'm signing off.